friends, welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel if you haven't been here before. I'm Erin, and for today's video we are going to be reading another Reddit no sleep story. Now, I know I haven't really read a no sleep story in a little while now, so I figured we'd jump back on that wagon. I will have all my other Reddit no sleep stories that I've read in a playlist that will be in an iCard at the end of this video if you'd like to check them out. I know I'm pretty notorious for reading Reddit no sleep series, but guess what, guys? This is just a one and done type thing, or at least so far it is, because this person, as of the date I'm filming this, had posted this 9 hours ago, so I'm not sure if there's going to be any updates or anything, but I figured I'd go ahead and read this and then we'd see where it goes. So we'll jump into it because this story is pretty long, and it's called Can Anyone Tell Me Anything About This Doll? And is written by the user Sleepy Hollow 101. I'm not really sure where to post this or how to find answers. I thought about going to a doll forum, Reddit has plenty of those, or maybe some subreddit dedicated to identifying weird crap. But this is too weird. I know that No Sleep has seen a lot of strange stuff over the years. I figure you guys are sort of experts when it comes to the unknown. So maybe you can tell me something about what's going on, because I've pretty much run out of ideas. I'll just jump right in. It started a little over 2 months ago. I got a package in the mail with no return address. I didn't actually think you could do that. I figured the United States Postal Service wouldn't deliver it if there wasn't a sender listed. But they did for whatever reason, and it was definitely for me, as it had my name on it. Anyway, I opened it and found a doll. It was wrapped in a blue rag, a bunch of bubble wrap, and some paper towels, which made sense when I realized it was porcelain. It was also fairly large. The doll is just under 2 feet tall. As I took her out of her makeshift packaging, I saw that she was in fairly good condition. Her cloth body and her dress were both clean, although I don't think that the dress is original to the doll. Her porcelain arms and legs were undamaged, her hair was intact and still styled in ringlets. There was a minor issue, a black mark on her chin, but I thought I could probably clean that up. The only weird thing, other than her unknown origins of course, was that her eyes had been poked out. Probably would have threw the doll away then. I realized that because whoever sent me the doll packed paper towel through her eyes. Once I pulled it out and picked the doll up, I could hear the rattling of the eyes inside the doll's head. Honestly, that was pretty creepy. But I've bought and owned damaged dolls before, and the eyes sounded like they may still be intact, and I was pretty sure I could find a way to get them out of the head with a bit of Googling. I took her dress off to discover a white shift underneath. Beneath that, etched in the porcelain just under her neck, was the name Angie. At first I figured my mom had sent me the doll, probably as a joke. She's one of the few people who has my address and sends me packages regularly. She knows how obsessed I am with dolls and how much I love horror. I figured she sent it to me as a prank, so I took pictures of the doll as I was unwrapping it, intending to send them to her later. Here are the pictures I took, and here is a picture I took of her name. And I'll insert these pictures here. Definitely a creepy looking doll. The first thing I did, of course, was message my mom about it. I was surprised when she had no idea what I was talking about. I know my mom pretty well. If she was the one who sent it, she would have owned up to the prank immediately. I ended up texting my sister, brother, brother-in-law. None of them admitted to sending it. Maybe this wasn't my best idea ever, but I just kind of shrugged it off. I have plenty of friends who would love to play a creepy prank on me. I decided that I'd play it cool, and eventually whoever had done it would reveal themselves. In the meantime, I decided to set my doll on the shelf until I could figure out how to fix the issue with her eyes. I also did a little research on the doll. I found a date on her back that read 1975 and the number 2 as though it was the second doll made from whatever mold they used. But I couldn't find anything other than that. I still don't know who made the doll. Well, it didn't really matter. I don't worry too much about preserving the dolls I buy. I take them out of their boxes, I pose them and change their clothes. Sometimes I brush their hair. That's why I call myself a casual collector. I was just happy to have a new doll to mess around with. Nothing strange happened. At first. It wasn't until a few weeks after the package arrived that the first weird thing happened. I came home from work one night to find that Angie wasn't on the shelf where I'd left her. She had been moved, so she was sitting in the doorway to my bedroom. I just about had a heart attack when I turned on the light and saw her sitting there. I took a picture as proof and sent it off to my roommates, assuming one of them had moved it to prank me. And here's that picture, which is definitely creepy. They all denied having moved it and accused me of messing with them. At this point, I was annoyed. I may love horror, but I don't believe in the supernatural, and I don't believe that dolls can just get up and walk on their own. This joke had started out funny, but now it was just sort of pissing me off. Plus, whoever had gone in my room had opened my closet, which I always leave closed, and turned on the bathroom light, which I never leave on. It wasn't enough to move the doll, they had to mess with my other stuff too. For a few days, everything was normal again. Angie stayed on her shelf like a proper lady, and I came home to a dark apartment every night. So far, so good. But then one night, I started hearing a weird sound. It was a weird rattling sound. It wasn't very loud, but it was jarring in the quiet room. I switched on my light and saw Angie sitting on the floor by my bed, definitely not where I had left her. I picked her up and heard the sound again. It was the sound of her eyes rattling around in her head. This was the first time I felt genuinely freaked out about the whole thing. I'm a light sleeper. There's no way someone could have gotten into my room and placed her beside me without waking me up. And there was nowhere they could be hiding. I searched my tiny room very thoroughly, I can assure you. My door was still locked. Deadbolted, in fact. From the inside. I was so freaked out I didn't go to bed the entire night and went to work exhausted the next morning. I had no idea what I was supposed to do. I know a lot of you believe in the supernatural, but I have lived my entire life as a skeptic. This thing rocked my worldview like you couldn't even believe. Everything I knew about the paranormal and the occult was theoretical, things I referenced and read about to write scary stories. Nothing more. I started thinking about what I would do if I was in a horror movie. Get a priest to bless the doll? Could I find one to do that? I'm not Catholic, but would they do it anyway? Should I, go back to being Catholic? Would that help? And what if that didn't work? Would I have to find a medium or, I don't know, a demonologist or something? Is there a demon in the doll, or is it haunted? Eventually, I decided I just didn't want to deal with it anymore. I didn't want to throw the doll away because if I did, it could break, and if there was a demon trapped inside it, that might let it out. I'd find someone to take it off my hands. Did you know you could sell haunted dolls on eBay? I can't imagine who on earth would buy them, but apparently there's some sort of market for it. I decided I'd put up a listing as soon as possible, and then it wouldn't be my problem anymore. It took me a few days to put the listing up, however. I felt sort of guilty about it. I didn't want to shove the problem onto somebody else, even if they bought it fully expecting it to be haunted. Plus, I felt sort of attached to the doll. I really liked her, even though she was starting to creep me out. In the end, I never got to put the listing up because something else happened. I woke up one morning to find paper stuffed in the doll's eyes. Here is what I found. The paper was graphing paper. It looks like it came from my old stats notebook. Written on the paper in purple marker was yes or no. I was still terrified, don't get me wrong, but now I was also curious. And that's much more dangerous. Because I really, really wanted to know what was up with this doll. I decided to put off posting it on eBay. This here is the part where I think I may have messed everything up beyond the point of no return. I decided to ask the doll a question. I felt kind of stupid sitting there and talking to the doll, but I figured, hell, why not? I know now why you shouldn't do that. I'll get to that. I decided to ask it, are you dangerous? I left the paper sitting next to the doll and went to work. When I came home, I had my answer. The no on the paper had been circled. After that, I left the graphing paper and marker next to the doll. Every morning I would write yes or no on a fresh page, ask my question, and go to work. Here are the questions I asked and the answers I received. Do you want to hurt me? No. Do you want to hurt somebody? Yes. Do you want to hurt the person who poked out your eyes? Yes. Did someone send you here? No. Did you send yourself? Yes. Did you pick me for a reason? Yes. Can you tell me why? I didn't receive an answer to that last one. I tried asking a few more questions, but the doll stopped answering. In fact, all the weird stuff that had been happening stopped entirely. It was surreal, and I started to wonder if I had imagined it all. Maybe I was having some sort of psychotic break. Mental illness runs in our family, or maybe it was carbon monoxide poisoning. Things were silent for weeks. Then on April 1st, I saw this written on my bathroom mirror. Now I was more confused than ever. I started thinking that maybe this was some kind of April Fool's joke, but had been going on for weeks, since early February actually. And I couldn't come up with a way that someone might have managed to pull this off. I mean, if someone was sneaking into my room at night, into my apartment, surely I would have caught them at some point. Instead of making me feel better, the message on the mirror made me feel worse. I started thinking about putting the doll on eBay again. I once again interrogated my friends and roommates to see if anybody was messing with me. Then this morning, I saw this. Whatever's going on, I don't think this is funny anymore. I want it to stop. At this point, I'm convinced that the doll is doing this somehow. I've spent all morning doing research only to find that I may have seriously messed up by communicating with it. I've opened a channel between us that, theoretically, could be exploited by whatever's inside the doll. If it is a demon or some other type of inhuman spirit, I could be seriously screwed. I think the doll was lying to me when I was asking it questions. I think it is dangerous and wants something from me, but I also don't think it sent itself. It had to have come from somewhere, right? The question is, where? And from whom? And why did they send it to me of all people? So I'm asking you guys for help, because you're all experts in this kind of thing. I want whatever's happening to stop. I write horror stories and watch horror movies, sure, but I don't have any interest in living them. If any of you have ever seen this doll before, if you have an idea of where it might have come from, or what I should do to make it stop, please tell me. I'm desperate at this point. So that's definitely one of the creepiest ones I've read off of Reddit nosleep. I definitely think her communicating with the doll was a bad move. Kind of reminds me of Annabelle, like the story of Annabelle, which I will eventually be doing a whole video on the story of Annabelle. But essentially it started out with that. The doll showed up and started leaving messages for the girls that it was with, and Annabelle was very bad news. So this doll sounds like very bad news as well. So hopefully she can get things figured out. I'm going to keep an eye on this story. I have it saved. So we'll see if this user puts any updates to her story. I kind of hope she does. And definitely if she does, I'll make another video on whatever updates that she makes. I'd be interested to see what she does as far as the doll goes. A lot of people in the comments are telling her to get rid of it and different ways that she can go about doing that, but we'll see what she actually does. So if she does get rid of it, maybe she'll tell us how she ended up getting rid of it. But like I said, definitely one of the creepiest stories I've read off of Reddit. But that's it for this video, guys. If you liked it, please give me a big old thumbs up. If you want to see more videos like this one, make sure you hit that subscribe button down below, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!